Okay, this is a start of a new series where I revisit a series that I've already either read completely or started and just never got around to or it hadn't finished yet. And I asked on the YouTube polls what series y'all wanted me to revisit, and the Plantagenet and Tudor novels by Philippa Gregory won. And so I will be reviewing and revisiting this book and see if this series, and see if it holds up and see what my new opinions are on it since I first read it and then I reviewed it. And there will be spoilers, and what I'm going to do is I have this on audio, and I'm going to, because this is the first one, it's The Lady of the Rivers. It is a 19-hour long book, so obviously I will not be finishing it in a day. So I'm going to take breaks as I read and then come back and discuss what I've been listening to. And there will be spoiler alerts, there will be spoilers. So if you have not read the Plantagenet and Tudor novels, skip this series because there will be spoilers. Not too much, but a little bit. I'm going to try not to give too much away, but I might, just talking and forgetting. um, so I'm not sure how long the series is going to be because I'm waiting for more audiobooks to get here on audio CD because I still have a DVD player. And also, this is a 15 book long series, and each of them are at least 15 hours. So that is a big chunk of time. So I hope you stick around for this series, and I will be reading it in the order in which they happen. So, for example, The Lady of the Rivers, the White Queen, the Red Queen, the Kingmaker's Daughter, the White Princess, and so on and so forth. I'm not going to be reading them in the order in which they were published. So, yeah, so just keep that in mind, and I am really looking forward to revisiting this series. And just there's might be some spoilers, and I hope you enjoy this series as much as I know I will enjoy making it. So let's get started with The Lady of the Rivers. Okay, so I'm about 3 hours in, and it is now where she is to her first marriage to the Duke of Bedford. And at the beginning, she meets Joan of Arc, and there's a lot of witchcraft involved with her family. And that caused a lot of issues with people that want true history, because it shows in this book and in The White Queen, it shows a lot of the historical events that happened due to witchcraft instead of natural phenomenons. But I really don't mind that because I love New Age stories. I love books about witchcraft. I have a few, and I didn't mind it as much throughout the times I've read this book and the other book in the series, The White Queen, because in these days, and even still today with some Christians, people thought that witchcraft was real, and told she was put on trial for being a witch. They believed it. They believed it wholeheartedly, and women were put to death because of this. And so, in their mind, in this environment that I'm reading about, it is real. They believed it was real. So I didn't mind that as much as other people did. And another thing that I keep forgetting as I read this book, um, she marries the Duke of Bedford, who her first husband was the Duke of Bedford, and she marries him, and he is the brother of King Henry V, who died, and he is nephew to King Henry VI, who is a minor at this time. He was about maybe 12 or 9, maybe I think 12, and she so he is next in line if King Henry VI were to die. And so she could have been, if King Henry VI would have died from something, she could have been Queen of England. And it's really interesting because her daughter, Elizabeth Woodville, the daughter of her second husband, would become queen and marry King Edward IV. So I just thought it was interesting that Jacquetta could have been Queen of England. So that's really interesting. So I'm going to keep listening. It's really good so far. It's really great to revisit this series. Okay, throughout I think it's been a week or so, I got a lot of the audiobook listened to, and I have about 8 hours left. And I have gotten to the parts where Jacquetta has married her second husband and has a big family and a positive family life. And she's also at the court of Margaret of Anjou and Henry VI. And I'm at the part now where the writing is on the wall for the Wars of the Roses to begin. And we're introduced to a lot of things that are foreshadowing, and there's still a lot of witchcraft involved, which I really, really like. And I really enjoy this book. I remember when I first read it I think it was 2011, and I enjoyed it then, and I still enjoy it now. I would have liked to have her write a book about Margaret of Anjou instead of Jacquetta. But I think maybe this novel came out because of the book about the Cousins' War. She wrote a novel. She wrote a book called Women of the Cousins' War, and maybe I think that was part of it. But overall, I really enjoyed this book so far, and the narrator is phenomenal because I'm doing it on Audible, and I might finish it today or tomorrow, and I will tell you my overall thoughts. Okay, I'm at the part now where King Henry VI has come down with some mysterious mental illness and cannot rule, and the nobles do not want Margaret of Anjou to rule, and then her newborn son cannot rule because he is a baby, and babies cannot rule. So this puts the Wars of the Roses in full swing. You have the Duke of York, Richard, Duke of York, and then you have King Henry VI, or the people who are fighting in his name, as the king, the Lancaster king. And this puts, the Wars of the Roses start, and it will last about 30 years and will be a big chunk of this series. So that's where we are right now. Okay, so I finished the book, and it ends with Jacquetta looking out the window and seeing her grandsons and her daughter Elizabeth Woodville walking with King Edward IV. And this stops right where the White Queen starts off, which is a book I have started and am listening to right now. And overall, I really enjoy revisiting this book again. It does have a special place in my heart. I probably don't like it as much as when I first read it all those years ago, like almost more than a decade ago, but it does have a special place in my heart. And the I love the witchcraft aspect of it, and I love that it's setting up a lot of foreshadowing for the rest of the series. But a couple things I did not like, I as much is the length. I think you could have made it 15 hours instead of 19 and gotten the same result. And instead of Jacquetta of Luxembourg, I think it would have been better for her to write a book about Margaret of Anjou. And and yeah, but overall, this holds a special place in my heart, and I look forward to revisiting all the other books in this series. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.